These are the defenders of love, and this will be defended. Love will be defended in the earth. If you're of love, then you will be defended. You have nothing to worry about. So in that word...
And how did they remember? They were given the power so that they could have the revelation of the Father's teaching come. That's how we remember.
Can you go into that 4918 for me, please, real quick?
So all I have to, I just got to say this. If anybody wants to remember, they have to go through the teachings of Father.
Yes.
Through the languages of light and love, you will remember what you have forgotten.
Yes, this is the part...
This is going through the veil.
Again, the theft in the garden was the cup that caused us to forget.
Yeah.
And then now we're remembering through the process. Can you go into 4198 so people that other than...
The garden.
Can you...
The Garden of Light.
Yes.
That's Oregon. Oregon.
Oregon, yeah.
Because that's how the state was spelled. The Light Garden.
Yeah.
That's it right there.
Can you go into 4918 for me, please?
Sorry, that just thrills me.
So people can see that.
Meshulam. We'll go down. And yep, right there. It says that it's from Shalom.
So can you please tick on that so people can see? So
yeah.
this is
7999.
You've turned your 6s to 9s.
You're divinely perfected.
Mm-hmm.
And you've made amends.
Yeah.
So just so if people haven't seen this before, the root of the word Shalom is to be safe. Mind, body, and estate. And to be completed.
Let's actually, while we're right here, let's just see this for a second. So if you're already in Shalom, and you're in 799, go to 799A, please. Because what is Shalom? Now you've become Shalom, so what is Shalom? We may as well do it when we're right here.
To can be complete or sound.
Right. Go to 799B, please. We're talking about the Constitution.
Yep. The covenant of peace.
So now you're in the covenant of peace. This is the true Constitution.
Yep.
Go to 8,000, please. It's all rooting from the same words.
So 8 being new beginnings.
Yep. You are now complete. Right? And this is all
finished.
So and then can you go down to the bottom so people can see the one word? They need to see this word.
Yeah.
Deliver.
Yep.
And
to restore. And I think that's interesting because what is it saying? The very first occurrence of this, under construction.
Right.
Right? Here's, I didn't mean to go there. Under construction, here's Ben. It's Benah. The construction of building 1.
Right. Right. That's what's being built. So all these occurrences still root to 7999. These are just extrapolating out to give us vantage point and perspective.
Exactly.
So go one more, go to 8001, and it should just be prosperity.
Yep.
Okay. And it's still connected to Shalom.
Yep.
And then please go to 8002. You are now what we would call a living sacrifice. And this is now the essence of fire that you are now. You become friend now. This is the peace offering of love. This is still rooted.
Jeez. And look at the first occurrence.
The first occurrence is based off of, on it, your burnt offerings and your peace offerings. And this is exactly, we've already broken this down, that this is all about the wine offering of becoming the order of Melchizedek that I'm going to break down, because we need to focus on what the order is.
Well, and this is already showing you the 2 paths of the letters, the 222, but it's specifically showing you the first pass through, the Aleph through the Tav, and the second pass through of Aleph Tav. This is a representation of the cherubim on the ark, and the middle is Shalom, and it's Yod Kaf.
Yeah.
So the hand that gives you to the one who has poured their cup out, ready to receive the language that brings revelation, to bring you to the place of completion.
Right.
I mean, that's literally what this is saying.
Right.
This is so big.
So go please go
Jeez.
one more, 803.
Yep.
And look at the occurrences of it.
Shalom.
So this
shalom.
is talking about the full heart. Your heart is made complete. And this,
Pull
by
up.
the way, is what we've defined as what we would call Joel's army, because Joel's army are the gathered judges that are coming in the earth. And they will be the full resonance of the judges. They will be light bodies.
Okay, 1 Chronicles 12:39.
And we're not going to really go into it, but I want you just to look at the spelling of Shalom.
What?
Hit it.
How could that be?
Right.
Well, even if that's an error, everything is put in there for a purpose, right? So to be complete, safe, and at peace, the word for that is heart.
Right.
Oh my gosh. So this is, oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding. This is taking a heart, Baal, because this is the root, this is a word for heart that is anxious, has anxiety, fear, and terror, because that's literally, and
Right.
then brings it to the place of the heart that is no longer in that place. It's reversing it.
Right.
So and it's telling you in order to do that, you need to build.
Right.
And you need to build through the pattern of the two cherubim on the Ark of the Covenant, which is the Ark of the Testimony.
Right.
So that your inside and outside have authority.
Right.
And how do you do it? Through the 222. So now you have inside authority through the twin teachings that build you.
Right.
So now you've taken away your fear and anxiety.
Right.
So that now you have Shalom.
Right.
You are complete, safe, and at peace. So you no longer have an anxious heart.
Right.
You no longer have anxiety.
Now there should be Shalom in that verse. Go back into it. Just let me see real quick.
Wow.
There should be.
Right after.
Right after.
A loyal heart.
A loyal heart. Right. So those are connected. So
oh
now
my
you have
gosh.
this is a loyal heart.
I know I'm going to have probably somebody say that it's a mistake, but we never see anything as a mistake. It is intentional that these things are written.
Well, it doesn't really matter if it's a mistake, because even if you flip loyalty and heart, it still is talking about shalom, and shalom is defining itself as saying it's loyalty, and it's in your heart in a measure that is filled up.
The inner man.
The inner man, right. And so that, yeah, there you go. So you can see it. So this is saying, whether it's a mistake, again, everything the Spirit takes me on and going like, what is it saying to me? I'm creating my reality. What does your reality look like? Exactly. This is my personal reality, and I get to express it in my findings and my renderings, and it is producing much.
Yes, it is. Wow.
So.
Wow.
And if you want to go into, just to show another one with a whole heart, just to connect this, go into, because this is of 803 as well, Shalom, complete. Go into Isaiah 38:3. This is only the second occurrence of this, 803 in Shalom.
I really wish this could be faster done, but that it's just a lot to be shared.
So go down to 8003 again. And that's the root of Shalom. And so there you have loyal, but in the verse, so you have loyalty again. And this is it, you in truth and with a loyal whole heart, right?
Remember.
Right.
Remember now, Aleph Tav.
Right.
The who is the beginning and the end. How, Asher.
Right.
How have you walked, Halak.
Right.
Through, and look at that, the Halak.
Yeah.
Where you grasped a hold of both.
Both.
You picked up both pieces, both signs of the covenants of love.
Before you is the face.
You will appear as a teaching shepherd of light who will give to those who have emptied their cup the language that brings forth revelation, which is truth.
Right.
So that you can build through the Bet Tov a heart that is loyal, And it's a heart that is complete,
Yeah.
perfected, secured,
Yeah.
safe.
So we got one more to jump through. So go back out, please, to 8.
So again, but it's the bell, it's the heart that is anxious now to the heart that is complete. So between the twin teachings, you have inside authority. Wow.
Yeah, I know these verses
wow.
are again. I don't. Yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh! And there's the I.
Yeah, there's the ayin, and we're going to that right now. So we're going to the ayin.
Wow.
But let's go to one more. So go to 8004. Another word for shalom, because these are all connected still, from 7999. So you can
see if I can take it, if it'll go back here, because we originally were started at 8004, but it won't. Okay, that's fine. I'll just have to do it another way.
So you can, yeah, they're all progressionals of shalom, moving through. So now we go to
8004.
Right? And now this is peaceful, and it's really the early name of Jerusalem. Shalom. And this ties to only 2 occurrences, and this ties to Melchizedek.
Yeah, because this is the king of Shalom.
Right, and we've already talked about this. We're not going to spend much time here. But then when you look at this, and especially in Psalm, so the king of Shalom brought what? Wine, bread, and salt. This is the friendship offering, which we've already established, because that's the frequency. Malak, you brought this forward, so I'll give you credit for this. Malak is a walk. Melech is the walk of mother.
Exactly, because it's the hay is not there. Now it's the completed of the mem and the mem sophit.
So a king it's not this rulership thing. It's you've walked completely in the way of mother, and now you're a completed one. And that's what it means. You're completed in peace, and you're called. Now you're called Jerusalem. Shalom is a new name. It's the old name that will be the new name of Yerushalayim.
Well, and can I just add this? That the early housewarming gifts were bread, wine, and salt. And nobody has ever explained that why. Right. Because you would come into somebody's house and bring bread, wine, and salt as a gift. Because why? Because you were representing the Zadik Melech, bringing them shalom into their home. Right. With a physical representation, because that is a Melchizedek offering. Peace. Right. That's huge.
That's huge. So
housewarming gift that your house would have peace.
So not to get yes, absolutely. So that's an old system that we've lost, and we're bringing it back. That we're sharing our bread and our wine with you. But
and
now in this measure, in the Psalm 72 verse or 76 verse 2, we're not going to go into it. Just look at from the outside from right here right now.
Psalm what?
You should be in 8004, and it should be right there.
Psalm 72:6. Yep.
And you can see that word for his tabernacle is in Salem.
Yeah.
That dwelling place, that tabernacle, is that this is where we got sok from, and this is where you get the word Sukkot, and it's a thicket. And his dwelling place. So this tabernacle, Sukkot, the thicket, and this is where we weave, and I've already done a teaching on this. This is the weaving. You can go into it if you want to. So this is now the dwelling place of the thicket where we give the offering of, this is the friendship and the love offering of why the ram came to Abraham as an offering. El was in the thicket. The ram was in the thicket. And he's already woven himself completely. He says, I am the sacrifice, because the sacrifice, as we've already established, is the love and peace offering, because you've built it. Right. That one had already built it. And he says, I'm fire. Fire doesn't touch me, because I am consumed in the fire.
There's sak.
Yeah. Yes.
So sackcloth.
Yeah.
So the only difference in that is a semek kuf versus a semek. Oh my gosh, I'm just getting this now. Well, because the first is the sack, because you have your cup that you want to be filled. And then the sackcloth is semek kuf, which means you've compressed light.
And we're going to go into that in the next teaching, because everything about this is building sackcloth is in the compression, and now you're able to speak as the sackcloth. And this is why Joseph put the cup in the sack of Benjamin. The silver cup is, oh, you silver-tongued one. That's really what it's saying. It means you're speaking as mother. The silver is the mother, and you have the head of gold.
Wow.
So now you speak with the silver tongue of mother, and we're going to break that down later.
The silver tongue of mother versus the golden tongue of father.
Right. And so then this dwelling place is the covering, and the covering is, the root of sack is 5526, and that's your covering. You're now covered, and that connects. You can go to it if you want to.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up.
So you just said, 5520 is the thicket.
There we go. This is the mercy seat.
This is the mercy seat.
Oh my gosh!
How can you adjudicate properly unless you're sitting as the adjudicator in mercy? You have to be sitting in the seat of authority, because your garment of black is now able to sit on the throne of mercy.
Oh, kanaf, you're covering.
You're covering.
And then it's got a teacher of light.
Yes.
My gosh, you gotta be kidding me.
How beautiful, right?
Oh.
So we're almost done.
Oh, I so want to go into Exodus 25:20, but that's okay. We got to land the plane somewhere.
So we're back now. Go back, please, going back to the garden, because this is also the gardener. We're just filling. Who's the gardener? This is the gardener. So now we're talking about what was stolen from the garden, and we ended with the 1599, the priest, right?
Yeah, I'll go and pull that. My gosh.
This is all really heavy stuff. But again, Tadav Rabbah for
I'm on
patience.
my third cow for the day.
I know. So 1599.
Yes.
The priest in the garden.
Yes.
And we just all what we just shared. We just filled up that component, right?
Yep.
So now let's go to the next occurrence, the last one, 1600. The Ga. The ayin is given again.
Wow.
And this is what we're going to share with. This is now the low. But now you are the Gimel and the Ayin of Revelation. And if anyone has a chart of the Old Paleo Hebrew, you'll see that the Ga is directly connected to the Ayin from the Gan.
Yes, it is.
Of Scripture. The Gan is the code that winds together, and the Ga goes is now. That's how they actually say.
Well, this is why the two became one.
Yes.
That when you would actually find the Ayin, you would find this.
Right. And
oh my gosh.
This occurrence, by the way.
Oh my gosh. And look, on this first occurrence, it has halak.
Right.
The walk that reveals to you the teachings of light if you empty out your cup so that you can grasp a hold and be bent towards the language that brings revelation.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Wow.
I would love to take you into the occurrence of this. Actually, let's go there real quick, and we're going to go through this. 1 Samuel 6:12. Go down to the Ga, because we need to see what this Ga is, and then we're going to end with this, and we're not going to go any more.
Okay, where am I going? Oh, right there, I see it. Samuel 6:12, under Brown Driver Briggs.
Right.
Got it.
So now, who are these ones? What is the Ga? And this is where we're going to end it. Hebrew, Yasher, is telling you to be smooth and straight, and we've already, right?
Right, and this was, so Yasher, the Yod, then turns to the Aleph.
Right.
So this is the same thing as Asher. It's just with the Yod. The Yod is the power, means, and direction to become one, to become the strong leader.
Remember, in this story of the Gat, it's saying that the Ark of the Covenant, whoever these two are, they're the oxen, but it's not the oxen. But in the picture, But in the picture of what they're telling you is that these ones have become the two that are yoked as one, that are pulling, that their wagon, their wagon is the Ark of the Covenant. They are the Ark of the Covenant. So the wagon and the ox are hitched together as one unit.
Exactly.
So these are who these are. But we're going to go into and this is what and so I know this is a lot.
So the straight way is the spiritual path on the side of Father's teaching that brings you the revelation, so that you can get the flesh that is no longer corruptible.
But the
still, two fires that have become one.
But it says straight or right. When you go into it,
to Yasher.
Straight or right, because it's Yasher's in it.
Well, and kata, to sin, it means to walk a crooked path.
I will tell you this right now. The left-hand path is only meant to come down.
Right.
The way up is through the way of right that leads you to the straight path, that allows you to ascend the straight and narrow, and it's the way of the mystic, and you go straight as the arrow to the mark.
Exactly.
The only way the left can be established is by right ascension, then establishing the measure of right through the way of straight, and therefore becoming the measure and coming down the left-hand side.
Right. So just to let you know what I was sharing with Regina yesterday, the verse that we went over talked about the path of the arrow.
Okay. There you go. And this is very personal to us, right?
Oh, yes, big.
To the Spirit. Okay,
big.
So let's go through this verse, and so we can keep it timely. And then I know it's a lot. We're going to end here, and I promise no more sandwiches today. So this next word. So now the way of straight, go right. The cows.
I know, but it's not Behema. It's not Behema.
No, it's not.
This is the Peresh.
This is the Peresh. So the way of the go straight is the way of, is saying the way of the mouth is the headstone of revelation. That's the cow. And it roots out at 6499, and it's par, and it means the way of the young bull, the Peresh.
Wow, man, you can connect this to the red heifer.
Yes, you absolutely can. You absolutely can. And it roots out at 6565, and it's parar. It's the double parar. So now you have the double reshes of mother and father, both coming together as one mouth, speaking as the fulfillment of one. Now it says defeat. It is not defeat. What you've done is, in this breakdown, is you've cast off. You've defeated the adversary by finding the thief, and you found the double measure that has become one. So you've disannulled, you've dissolved, you've made clear, and you've made void of everything that is not. So it's not a negative. This is like you've defeated.
I totally get it, because you would not know that unless you knew the letters, because each resh starts out with being poor and destitute, right? So there's a mouth that speaks to the first portion, being poor and destitute in mother, to raise you up to be a first fruit leader of her teachings, so that the second one, you're poor and destitute in father's teaching, so he can raise you up so that you can defeat the enemy within. Right. You can defeat your adversarial component within, which is your beast ego nature.
Right.
That's what this is.
When it says that in that first occurrence of Genesis 7:14, his people have broken, it means that they've rightly divided. They've cast off, and because it means that they've cleaned, they've made it. But in its first definition, it says as dividing the hoof. These ones have properly divided the word.
Yeah, through mother and father's teaching.
The covenant.
Exactly, Buriti.
Right.
And it's the Aleph Tav.
Right.
The first and the last, the beginning and the end.
Yes.
The covenant that brings forth the power, the revelation of the people that will be speaking the words that bring forth the poor and destitute to become first fruit leaders that are married. There's your Samek again.
Yeah, and remember, this is talking about the story of the two cows that are pulling the ark back to where are they pulling it back to? Bet Shemesh.
The house of the sun.
Yes.
So it takes us back to the Shemesh.
We're going to find out, because these are going back to the sun.
Oh my gosh.
So we finished that. These are the cows, right? So now you've gone straight, young bulls.
And look at that. You have the Vav Tav.
So your friend was asking, I don't know what red is. This is red, because I've already dug it out. This is the dub of the fawn and the deer that are as red, and this is part of the red heifer.
Right.
Do we have a red heifer alive today? You know who this is? This is Rabbi Chaim Richmond. And they're going to play this MP3 for me.
The bombshell I wanted to mention is the fact that,
let's hear what he has to say.
Because everyone is very interested in the status of the red heifer, people speculate, people remember the excitement of when a red heifer was born, people talk about it, and the reason for that, of course, why there's such excitement every time anybody mentions a red heifer is because a lot of people know that there is a Jewish tradition, it's in the Mishnah, that there were only 9 red heifers throughout the entire history of the Jewish people. And there were 9 red heifers and the ashes from those red heifers were enough to accomplish the process of cleansing for all the generations of the people of Israel. And there is a tradition that the 10th red heifer is the one that's associated with the rebuilding of the 3rd temple. That's why when there's a news report about a red heifer being born, people get very, very excited. It's looked on as some sort of a wake-up call like that. And I wanted to share with our listeners far and wide the fact that there is definitely a kosher red heifer here
This
right
is
now.
really breaking news.
Yes, it is.
This should be on the scroll on the bottom of CNN or something.
It should be. We're not making a lot of noise about it. We're not taking out all sorts of ads, and we're not certainly not disclosing the location. That's definitely not prudent, and I'm not going to be sharing it with the United States Embassy. Absolutely not. But you should know that there are definitely, in fact, I think there's more than one, but there is definitely at least one kosher red heifer here in Israel right now. So that is not what is impeding the process at all.
That's a great encouragement. Source of comfort, I think. But again, it's also a reminder that we have our work cut out for us, and the days are passing, and we have to keep on with it and keep working toward our goal.
Folks, did you hear what he said? This is of last year, early of 2010. That is the biggest bombshell breaking news that you could ever hear that hit your ears, is that there is a kosher red heifer. And did he say more than one? And they're not disclosing the location. Good idea. If that's the case, and they announced this 1 year ago, then that means that red heifer is probably close to 3 years old. It has to be 3 years old. See, if they just said, oh, it was born today, I wouldn't be so excited, because they can't even call it a kosher red heifer that qualifies to be a red heifer sacrifice until it's older. But now that it's nearing the age of being validated, they have come out and they have said this is a kosher red heifer. So folks, if this is a validated kosher red heifer and it is nearing the process of 3 years old, and all of the utensils in the altar are already built for the temple and ready for the sacrificial system of the 3rd temple, then everything is in place. The only thing needed is permission for them to start making the sacrifice.
So they've misunderstood what that whole thing is about.
Red is it's actually just, it's a covering and a coat, and it's the red coat.
Wow.
And so we don't go into that right now, but that's what it is. These are the coat of the fawns and the deers and the elk.
Oh my gosh, this is big.
So then the next one had.
I guess I don't mind eating the 3rd cow today.
Well, this is it.
Oh my gosh.
So they went. These ones went, and where'd they go? They headed straight.
Right, the way.
Right.
And so they built themselves from the Bet Tov, and now they have been quadrated. They are a gift from God. They went through their inner man to raise their head to be first fruits, because they emptied out their cup to receive the language that would bring revelation.
Right. But we see that this is a quadrated or a gem door, right?
Exactly, gift from God.
So this is a gift from God. And so now we have this gift from God. Please go into 1869, because this is the well-trodden road of the narrow path. They've gone through the course. Well, go back, please, because you need to go down and see. It's a course of life or a mode of action. Can you please highlight that for people to see?
Yeah, because this is what Yeshua was teaching. This is what was called the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Yeah. The way of the right-hand path.
So what we've been taught about what Christianity is taught is incorrect. Right. This is the way.
The way is through love, but we have to define it through the frequency of ingathering the pieces of family, knitting it together.
Right, and this is important that we say this. We are not creating a new religion. We are talking about a new mode, a new way to live life.
We are speaking from our overflow of rendering clear through measure and portion that the Father and the Spirit has shown us through what we've done through many, many years of extraction, and we weren't allowed to really release it in its fullness
until now.
And now love reigns. And now this is the latter reign, and it's called love of peace, because this will be those that have risen in the measure, and they will be called friends.
Yes.
And that's the sacrifice that's being burnt up right now.
Yep.
Our heart is on the altar, and we do it in the incense, or the essence of purity and innocence.
And I think it's interesting because it's a mode of action.
Yeah.
You cannot be passive in this.
No.
You have to ingest the words, you have to dig them out and allow the letters of light to form you into the words made flesh, just like Yeshua. That's why he was teaching.